Women have been ordained as deacons in the Presbyterian Church since 1905 and ruling elders since 1930. 6 months before I was born, the former Northern United Presbyterian Church ordained the first woman as teacher, preacher, pastor for a congregation. I would be 8 before the Southern Church saw the light and ordained a woman whom God had called to be a teaching elder. In all those instances, a bunch of men got together, read the Bible, prayed, debated, and voted that God called women into ministry equally to men. In all our varied systems, it takes the actions of those in power to give voice to the disenfranchised. When I started seminary in 1979, I sensed that 1/3 of my class were women. I know the percentage was the highest to date. One seminary professor and one of the adjunct faculty were women then. Insights to pastoral care, biblical interpretation, preaching, teaching, and leadership came in gifted ways from the gender of those who were the first preachers of the resurrection of Jesus in all 4 Gospels. When first meeting my forever female friends, I realized they had gracefully been through barriers and blockades in their sense of call to ordained ministry that I never faced. Maybe that's one reason they would outshine me. My personality connected better to women than men, so I was glad they were my colleagues. When forming an almost all-women team for flag football in the seminary Calvin Bowl, we named our team the Shebrews. If you don't know the Bible, you've missed out on a lot more than that joke. On the Shebrews, I moved from player to co-coach to cheerleader as more women stepped up to replace my positions. In leaving seminary, I noticed I was never asked by a church's pastor search committee if I could lock up the church at night or what I wore under my robe. I also noticed that language could be used to include or exclude people. Man, mankind, third-person examples using only he, all left out over half the world. The gift became that my preaching became more personal. You, me, we, literally brought inclusivity as the message spoke to us, right here, not them out there. Maybe Martin Buber's I, thou, rather than I, it relationship language. The year after my ordination as a pastor, I heard a speaker at Kiwanis exclusively use exclusive language. Man, was his message lost to me, and all the mankind's and he's I couldn't exclude from my reactions. I wrote him a letter sharing that I was one person who missed his message because of his language. He was free to choose his words, but I invited him to try using inclusive language to be better heard by all. I received back 3 pages of a tweet storm and Facebook rant before their time. It was mostly about all his accomplishments and abilities, and how dare I, a young punk, question anything about him. I learned again the lesson my father tried to teach me: Wallace, speak your criticisms and write your praises. I also remained sensitive about language toward and criticism from others. What is your experience of listening to the voices of those who are often silenced? What use of language speaks to you or distracts you? When have you been changed by encountering the experience of another who has struggled for equality and dignity? In what ways have you been transformed as you're becoming a disciple, making a difference?